I'm doing great.
No, he's
How are you?
Dr. CC.
That he is
Dr. Craig Cousin.
Yeah, well.
With no S on the end.
Right, no S.
Yes, no S at the end.
And we got our
This is
girl
what it is.
Christy joining
Congratulations.
us back from Cincinnati, so I'm sure she's got some first-hand knowledge about the two teams that we're going to be talking about.
She probably doesn't want to talk about Ohio State this week.
Definitely not.
We are not
Ohio
talking
State.
college. This is all NFL. We are going to be here every Thursday and every Monday night starting at 7:30, breaking down the game that is on TV. So, I mean, really the only place to start is to say, here's a funny thing for you guys to think about. Do you realize that our show tonight will last longer than Tom Savage's NFL start in the NFL?
I did not realize that.
Yes, seriously.
That was a funny quip. That was really good.
I like that. Way to bring us up.
Tom Savage lasted 30 minutes as a starting quarterback for the Houston Texans.
Did you just research that today?
Huh?
Did you just research that today?
I did actually.
That is.
I did. Not gonna lie.
He threw the ball 13 times. What are your thoughts on them already pulling him after that?
Listen, I was the one who said even at the draft that Deshaun Watson should start week 1. He should be the outright starter.
I don't agree with it.
Tom Savage got sacked 6
That's
times.
not his fault. That's
That
his
was like
offensive line's
once
fault.
every
That's not
5
his
minutes.
fault.
Deshaun Watson got sacked 4 times.
That's okay. He's a rookie.
Oh.
He's a
No
rookie.
excuse.
So Savage is basically, I mean, he's been in the league a little while, but the fact of the matter is he hasn't been under center that much, especially at the starting position.
What, 30 minutes? That was it. Domino's delivers less time. That's it. I'm
Well,
telling
we
you.
know Jimmy Johns does.
Yeah, Jimmy John's is quicker.
I heard they're freaky fast.
But my point to you is this. It's just the fact that now Deshaun Watson, the guy who I have said since the draft, should start officially on his 22nd birthday, gets his start tonight against the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean,
They say what you want, Cincinnati Bengals. It's a tough spot to put a rookie under his first start. A short week on the road in Cincinnati.
With a bum ankle?
Yeah, with an injured ankle.
and not to mention all the injuries that have happened to Houston. I mean, their tight end Fedora was out. He still got DeAndre Hopkins, thank God, for small favors.
Will Fuller went down in the
Will
preseason.
Fuller went down.
They're getting Jalen
Bruce
Strong back
Ellington.
tonight.
Yeah, Bruce Ellington, I think is he out on concussion protocol or?
Yes, he's on concussion.
Not to mention their offensive line is just, they're putting in.
And that's why Tom Savage was put on the ground so many times. You can't blame all that time on him. That's all offensive line. That's why I don't agree with Bill O'Brien doing this. I don't.
I do completely because I like what I've seen out of Deshaun Watson from his days at Clemson, moving into the NFL.
That's going back to
That's
the
college
past.
football.
That's college
Wait,
football.
I
Come on
understand.
now.
I thought we weren't talking that today.
We're
No,
not, but
Hey,
I'm-
that's like reminiscing about an ex-girlfriend. Oh, we had a great time back a couple of years ago. It was nice. It was good. We won a championship together. He's in the pros now. It doesn't matter now.
I mean, they both had playing time in the preseason, and if they were equivalent, I guess you have to go with Savage. He has experience under center. You've got to see what he has. I don't know if pulling him after 30 minutes was the right move.
Listen, I was a big advocate of them starting Deshaun Watson prior to. But once you make the decision to go with Tom Savage, if you're Bill O'Brien, you cannot pull him out at one half of a game. There's absolutely no sample size. He hasn't really started too much before. You gave all the preseason snaps to him, basically, all the first-team offensive reps outside of a few, and you pull him after one half of a regular season game.
Well, we saw this with Osweiler and Savage last year, too. Didn't he pull Osweiler, pull Savage, keep mentioning them going back and forth? He can't make a decision.
This will be the 9th starting quarterback since 2014 for the Houston Texans.
Which they
beating out the Cleveland Browns
Yes.
by
Beating out
one.
the Browns by 1. I was like, wow.
This has to put in the question to Bill O'Brien. And Bill O'Brien should know this by now. His quarterback's coach came from the New England Patriots.
He did, yes.
That now he has to pretty much stick with Watson throughout the whole season because now if you do the flip-flop like you did with Osweiler and Savage again, it's going to screw up your whole offense, right?
Okay.
Well, listen, if he starts flip-flopping again, it's time for Bill O'Brien to leave.
Okay, I will agree with you on that. But as I said, Deshaun Watson should have been the starter from jump. And look what he did. He was the quarterback who drove them down the field. And yes, Kristen, to your point, he threw 4 interceptions, but he also scored. He also was part of them actually scoring the only points that they got. No, it was in the third quarter. It wasn't garbage time. At that time, it was a chance for Houston to kind of bring themselves back and say, okay, with this kid, which is what he is, under center, we have an opportunity. They were down, what, maybe 2-3 touchdowns? It's a possibility for a rookie.
Okay, Eric, let me ask you this. Okay, so if he has a bad night tonight against Cincinnati, he has a really tough defense, are you still sticking with him?
Yes.
Are you still sticking with him after the first half?
Yes. I am.
I think you have to. You cannot go back to Savage at this point. And I did watch Deshaun Watson in college. They scored 31 on my Ohio State Buckeyes, as we had him on.
It was a great day.
It was a sad
Fantastic
day.
game.
But he is a winner. He's a proven winner, and he gets the guys fired up, and he gets motivated. And even if he sucks today and he doesn't do well, you have to stick with him and let him get that experience because he is the quarterback of their future. So,
Yeah. Well, to your point exactly. Once Bill O'Brien has made this decision to move forward, you cannot backtrack on it. Give him a whole season to see what he can do, okay? And from there, then you reevaluate if possible. I mean, literally, they drafted this guy early on, so he should be the starter now moving forward.
I agree.
Granted, they should have made this decision 3, 4, 5 weeks ago instead of giving Tom Savage all the first-team reps and starting the preseason. They didn't do that. They pulled him early, and now we'll just have to wait and see. But this is a tough spot on the road on a short week.
I don't think so. I really don't. I think that Deshaun Watson being the winner that Kristen alluded to him being, I think tonight what we're going to see is the future of Houston embodied in this young man. You know what I'm saying? J.J. Watt's got a dislocated finger, but he still is suited up and ready to play. I think I expect to see a lot out of DeAndre Hopkins, which we didn't see when Tom Savage was.
that was the point I was just going to make. The first drive on the field, he goes to Hopkins for the touchdown.
Of course he
It's
does.
going to be Watson and Hopkins all season long once they get comfortable. And Tom Savage would never even look at Hopkins with their best receiver, one of the best receivers in the NFL.
I think Tom Savage is against fantasy football. Because you know how many people
He was playing against them.
You
So
know
I'm good.
how
I'm
many
going
people
to
would, like, would you throw to Hopkins, please, so I can get some damn points? Here's an interesting stat. Over the last 5 years, Houston has a 4-1 record over Cincinnati. Cincinnati's only win came back in 2014, where they beat them 22-13. But Houston has proven that they can beat this team. So that's why I'm saying to you, even with the deck stacked against him, I fully see Deshaun Watson. I fully see DeAndre Hopkins. I expect that defense to step up and put a handle on him.
Listen, in 2013, I believe it was, DeAndre Hopkins led the league in yards at the wide receiver position. So he is a top echelon receiver.
He is.
But he's had the unfortunate
The quarterback carousel on that team.
exactly, and we've seen it from really good receivers before.
Yeah.
You know, he's fallen victim to it, and we see if he can bounce back and actually get a consistent quarterback, which the Houston Texans really need. Because let's be honest, their defense has been pretty stellar over the years. They have him at wide receiver now. They really just need to shore up that offensive line and to protect the young guy now.
You bring up their defense. What happened to their defense last week? They were not the best, if not one of the best defenses last year.
Did you give up how many points in Jacksonville?
Well, I'll tell you, one loss was huge, and actually he switched to Jacksonville's A.J. Boyd at cornerback position. Jacksonville stole him and paid him a lot of money. And that, for whatever reason, Jacksonville's defense plays Campbell, I think, had his best game ever.
You think so?
He's in a new spot, obviously coming over from Arizona, signing that huge contract, so Jacksonville looks mean on defense. The problem is they're going to have to look mean on defense all year. The loss of Allen Robinson on offense.
But
We'll
they
get
still
into that because we're not talking too much of Jacksonville today,
But
they're going to be in the field a lot.
They still got Fournette. Listen,
Well,
I'm not sold on him just yet. But if what I saw against Houston this past Sunday, and you're right, we're not talking about it, but just
For a
this
debut,
game.
100 yards and 1 touchdown. That's pretty good for a debut.
Yeah, I'm saying for a debut, he made a hell of a statement.
Okay, so while you're at the running game, let me switch gears over to the other side of the ball now. The Cincinnati Bengals, they have 3 running backs. They're kind of playing running back by committee or running back carousel. Who do you guys expect to kind of take the reins, especially tonight? You got Giovanni Bernard, you got Joe Mixon, and you also got the vet and Jeremy Hill.
Let me take Craig's line and use it against him. When you have 3 running backs, you got 0. I don't expect any of those guys to get more than 60 yards tonight. I really don't. I expect the Houston defense to come out and firing all cylinders. J.J. Watt's playing with a huge chip on his shoulder, even with a dislocated finger. I expect Clowney to be stellar tonight. And even though they lost Vince Wilfork, I expect the Houston defense to remind everybody why they are a top 3 rated defense.
Don't
in the
forget they lost
NFL.
Brian Cushing too for the PEDs.
Yeah, can somebody, I mean, was it we? Seriously, was it we? Do we know what it
PED, I don't know
was?
if you consider
Performance
PED.
enhanced suspension.
HGH? I don't know what it was, but
steroids, yeah.
for real, just
Yeah.
let it go, man.
But
It's
It
not
seems like
working.
every
He's
year
been on
that
the juice
defense
since
is piece is
inside.
always getting taken away from that defense every single year.
There's always a piece.
And him, it's just like inexcusable. With him.
You're right.
Well, see, he said this is his second PED offense.
Second PED.
He's gotten injured before, probably due to everything breaking down because of the steroid use. He hasn't been able to get it together. That's a big loss for them. That's the Texans' leading tackler.
Yeah.
So,
But going back to the running backs, I couldn't
Sure.
really gauge running backs last week because playing from behind so far, you can't really gauge it. I think Mixon at the end of the season is going to be the standout there. He's a rookie. He didn't have a lot last week, but I can see the explosiveness already. The Ravens have a really good defense, really young defense. So it's hard, but I think at the end of the season we're going to be seeing Mixon, the hands-down starter.
Well, the way they broke it down last week, they actually started Jeremy Hill at the running back position, but he only got 17% of the snaps. 38% went to Mixon, and Giovanni Bernard had 44% of the snaps on offense. Of course, Giovanni Bernard is still the third down back, but he seems to be a more consistent role overall in that offense.
It's going to play out through the season who's going to be the odd man out. They drafted Mixon for a reason, is to take control of that running game. So Bernard and Hill are pretty much fighting for the last second spot because in the end, when we get halfway through the season, there's going to be guys going to be cut on the offense.
I agree with you, but I'm going to say that I think the emergence of Mixon is going to be good. But I think Hill is going to step up out of the shadow and actually at the end of the season be your number one. I know, but I think with Bernard under center, not under center, but as a first down back, I just don't see him being the man to go-to guy. You know, for him to get, 40-some%?
44%. He's more of a scat back. You can put him in the slot if you need to. He's going to be the third down option. Can catch the ball real well.
Utilize him there. Utilize him in the slot. Let Mixon and Hill go at it as their true backs. And I think because even though Mixon, you went up, you got him, you took a chance on this kid, you know his history.
Speaking of taking that chance, do you think that he's going to last all season long, or is he going to get in trouble?
No, I think he will. I think he's going to. I think from what he took from college going to the pros, now he's got a job to do. I think he knows what he's going to be there for. I think do the stupid stuff in college and transition to the NFL. You know what you have to do. So no, I don't think he's going to get in trouble.
Now, for most people, that's okay. The problem is he went to the Cincinnati Bengals, and we all know they're track.
And they're in trouble makers. Why? They just gave your boy Montez Burfict a 5-year extension. So
I mean, why not?
I think they're on the line to give not only him an extension, but also your boy Marvin Lewis, too.
Oh, my God.
Should we get you going on
No,
Marvin Lewis
I'm telling
right
you, I am starting the FML chant as in fire Marvin Lewis.
I'm going to get you a shirt with Marvin Lewis's face and the hashtag.
It's a good start. It's a good start for the firing chain.
Yeah.
I'm serious. How this man, I was having this conversation with our bartender, Billy. Marvin Lewis has been in the league for over 9 years. This man has one playoff victory to his credit, and this team just cannot. They cannot get it together. You have all the weapons you need. Kristen's dad and I had the same conversation. It's like, why do they keep Marvin Lewis as the head coach?
He's got dirty pictures. He must have dirty pictures of the owner. He's got
here it is. The owners of the Cincinnati Bengals don't care. Because every year their season goes like this. They will have an 8, 9, or 10-win season, sometimes 11, sometimes 12. They'll get to the first round of the playoffs, and then they'll lose. Their season is over. That's their Super Bowl. So they're figuring to themselves, okay, every year we get to the postseason. Every year all of our fans are still with us. So there's no point. You want to talk about welcome to the jungle? There is no jungle in Cincinnati. I'm sorry. Marvin Lewis needs to go. I even dropped my little thing on my microphone. That's
He does lose his coordinators, though. Making the playoffs 5, 6 years in a row. Maybe he has one win, but he does make the playoffs. Every year he's losing coordinators. He's losing players. The Browns stole Hugh Jackson from him. He took the offensive lineman from him. So it is hard. I don't like Marvin Lewis either, but I'm just going to play devil's advocate here, and he is making the playoffs. What are you going to do? Dump him for who are you going to bring in there? You know.
There are plenty of NFL coaches out there who either have coached in the past or who deserve a shot to be able to take Andy Dalton beyond the first round of the postseason. I don't know who that is just yet, so don't ask me.
Well, judging by his first week, nobody's going to take him into the postseason.
I'm glad that you brought that up. So if we see a downward start from Andy Dalton, do we see maybe A.J. McCarron coming in maybe halfway through the season?
Yes.
I mean, it might even be sooner than that if he has a couple more games like he did in week 1.
All right, so if they lose tonight to Houston, what do you do?
It depends on how he plays.
Yeah, I would say it depends on how he plays. And if he keeps going in a downward spiral, like I said before, I'd say probably your 4th or 5th game, you may want to make a transition to A.J. McCarron.
I mean, I had this conversation with a couple other buddies. I think there's 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks in the NFL that have basically exceeded what they're going to do. I don't see Andy Dalton taking the Bengals past what he has. I think that's the ceiling. Listen, he's a good quarterback. He's probably in the top 20 quarterbacks in the league.
There's only 32 teams, right?
That's what I'm saying. But he's not going to get them over the top. I don't see that personally. I think he makes too many mistakes in prime time. We've seen it over and over again. And I think with the talent around him, regardless of coaching, he needs to take that jump, and we haven't seen that from him. The other one is Carson Palmer. You know, the Arizona Cardinals need to move on.
Oh, Palmer's done.
He is done. He's played the best that he's going to play. that team was 2 years ago projected to go to the Super Bowl. They made it pretty far. Fact of the matter is they regressed last year. They barely won. They were 500, I believe, and then they're starting off bad again this year. The loss of David Johnson's even a little cherry on top of that.
You know, what you said, the talent run, he's got Eford. John Ross actually makes his debut tonight, coming off his injury. You've got A.J. Green, you've got that three-headed monster, as you said, man.
So I'm over there.
So why, he's thrown 4 picks. His first game of the season. He's got so much talent around him. I think we do see that, Andy Dalton taking a step back this year and not being the quarterback we used to see.
And I think they could be quick to bench him because McCarron is one of the best backups in the league.
If you get bench Tom Savage within 30 minutes, I think you can do that to Andy Dalton.
I agree.
Yeah, if we were having a backup draft, we'd go to the top 3.
And he's throwing interceptions on a clean pocket. It's not like he's being pressured. It's not like his guys are open. He's just not making these good throws. And I agree. He's plateaued past this prime. And I'd say if he doesn't play well tonight, maybe game 3.
He misses Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson was.
Here's a name that we haven't thrown out this whole entire show. Where the hell is A.J. Green? Where is he?
He's playing in Cincinnati waiting for the Red Rocket to throw him the football.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this
or
is
she's
a
going to throw it
guy.
to the other team.
He's one of the top guys that you would pick up in fantasy, but yet nothing is ever done with him. And it's like,
not even fantasy. He's a top 5 receiver.
It's like DeAndre Hopkins. If he doesn't have someone to throw it to him, he can't do anything. He can't get the ball in his hands.
I am shocked and amazed at how you would think that Andy Dalton and A.J. Green just would have that great combination.
Well, I think it depends on tonight, too, because now that you have John Ross there, it's going to take a little bit of the pressure off of A.J. Green, so he's not going to be double-teamed all the time. But it's all depending on how Dalton's going to do tonight.
Right.
It all depends on him. It's not A.J. Green. If he's going to get the ball. If Dalton's not going to throw like a ton of picks if he did the first game.
One of the good things that Jacksonville did last week on defense was tipping balls at the line of scrimmage to Andy Dalton. They had 2 of those tip balls result in interceptions. If anyone's good in the league in that, probably the best person in the league at that is J.J. Watt tonight, Whitney Merciless, and then also Jadeveon Clowney. They can all put their hands up and get the balls at the line of scrimmage. So Andy Dalton's going to have a higher release point tonight, or he's going to be in trouble again.
I'm very, very, I'm nervous for Andy Dalton tonight because I feel like not only may he lose this game, but I feel like he might also lose his job. Because I really feel like, to what you say, Great Al Bushman, if you can get rid of Tom Savage in 30 minutes, with this team looking like we know them to be and they're not showing it, I truly see that we might see a A.J. McCarron side.
I think you might after probably the fifth, depending. I say 4th or 5th game. If this continues,
he's saying tonight.
I would say tonight.
I am, just because Cincinnati for me just does not seem to have that chemistry. The dynamic is not there. You let a divisional opponent week 1 in Baltimore just basically lay wood to you from start to finish.
But you know as well as anybody, in a division game, anything can happen. These 2 teams know each other like no other. It doesn't matter what your record is. Listen, when San Francisco was terrible the last couple of years, they played Seattle. They have actually beaten Seattle multiple times in that time span and given them good games.
You can't get shut out, though. In a divisional game, you've got to put 3 points on the board.
When you throw those interceptions again.
But that is exactly my point, Kristen. You have to put something on the board. You throw the rule book, you throw everything else out the window because you play this team twice a year. But for the love of Jesus, put them. I don't care. Put something. It was ridiculous.
Maybe the change in uniforms tonight will do them good. I believe it's Color Rush is starting. So we're going to see some weird uniforms. Or if you like that, you're going to see some very bright and kind of cool uniforms. So it kind of depends. I've seen some teams up there that look like ketchup and mustard playing each other. It looked like a Christmas elf at one point.
Right. Yeah, the one.
So I'm curious to see what it's going to look like tonight. It might be Halloween coming early with the orange.
Last year when it was Buffalo and the Jets, it was like watching Christmas out there. It was like red and green all over the place. So. All right, we got about probably 10 minutes left, so let's go around. Who's winning? Why? Final score.
10 minutes. We've got like 40 minutes left. Yeah.
So,
all right, hold on. Go get a drink.
No,
I have a drink right now.
Hold on. You all know it's basically about 6 innings, right?
Yes.
So Eric's getting tired. Pass the bedtime.
Hold on.
You usually get some nap about halfway through the show.
I got my drink. It's nap time. Y'all
Hold on. Is it 10 minutes? So that's 6 innings.
Eric wanted to do about half the show already. Remember you broke anything?
Yeah, go get another drink. Go get a Red Bull.
I don't need a Red
Bull. Go get a Red Bull.
I don't need a Red Bull.
Okay.
I'm good.
Well, let me ask you guys.
If I fall asleep, just nudge me.
Out of Deshaun Watson, what do you expect to see from him tonight? Going up against a tough defense, what do you guys expect? With ankle injury.
All right, I'll start. I think that it's going to be a tough spot for him. I think, like I said before, I think he's going to be on the road on a short week. I'm not sure how the offensive line's playing. It didn't look too great last week. Obviously, Tom Savage and Deshaun Watson took a bunch of sacks. He's going to have to be pretty mobile, and I don't know how that ankle is going to reflect that. Obviously, he's going to be more mobile than Tom Savage anyways, so I expect it for him to get out of the pocket a little bit more. If he can get out of the pocket and get a little bit of running in, they do get Jalen Strong back, which I think is pretty big. You can put him in the slot, even maneuver him around a little bit. The tight end position is basically obsolete now. No Ryan Griffin, no C.J. Fedorowicz. They're going to have to. I heard that they're bringing in Gary Barnidge perhaps, which I don't even know why he doesn't have a job. He played great in Cleveland.
Top 10 tight end last year.
So that'll be a good acquisition if they can get him in and get him running. DeAndre Hopkins is going to have 15 targets tonight. So he might only catch 5 or 6 of them. I'm not sure. It depends. But he's going to have a lot of targets. So I personally think that he's going to have a good night fantasy-wise, DeAndre Hopkins. I think it's going to be a mixed bag of tricks tonight. As far as I'll go into my prediction later, but I think it's going to be a mixed bag of tricks for Deshaun Watson. But he can also prove me wrong. And if he balls out, then hey.
Well, I definitely think he's going to have a better game than last week. He was thrown in at halftime, didn't think he was going to be playing. So I'm a firm believer now he's got all the confidence. This is his team. He's the starter. He probably obviously watched the film and saw himself staring receivers down. He needs to learn he can't do that. It's not college. Yeah, get rid of the ball quicker.
Sure, Watson was on the bench kind of like Willie Beeman was and ended Sunday. He had the paper going. I was like, what? No, I'm going, man. What? No, he couldn't find his own.
That's exactly what I feel. Like I said, he's a proven winner. Confidence is key. I think he's going to be 100 times better than he was on Sunday, which isn't saying that much. But I definitely think, I don't know how mobile he's going to be able to be with that ankle. We'll see. But I think he's definitely be better. I think he's, like I said, Watson and Hopkins all year long. It's going to be something. It's going to be beautiful at the end of the season. Something fun to watch.
Listen, today's his 22nd birthday, and I think if he had one wish today, it is to go out there and prove everybody that he is not only qualified to be the starter for the Houston Texans, but he's going to earn his spot tonight. So, going off of what everybody has said here, with the exception of you, Great Elbush, it's going to be the Watson-Hopkins show tonight. What I'm interested to see is, if he doesn't telegraph and make those rookie mistakes, because sometimes it is better to be lucky than good, but I feel Deshaun Watson tonight is going to have to rely on some of that college mentality and what he did at Clemson. I think he's going to have to rely on that for him to be successful. I predict Houston's going to win this game. I think a lot of it's going to stem from their defense. But if he does struggle,
Eric, jumping the gun on prediction.
No, we're not even to our first break yet.
Like, of course, I didn't think there was
I haven't given you the final score.
We're not even there yet.
I just predicted.
Okay, we got about 35 minutes now.
Okay, fair enough. I do feel like, though, if he does struggle, I feel he will be a lot quicker to rebound from his mistakes as opposed to last week when he only got half of it.
Gotcha. Now, I want to ask you guys, you guys forgot one piece of the puzzle in their offense is Lamar Miller.
Yeah.
That's something he needs to rely on all game long. Instead of, going out and trying to throw the deep ball and trying to get, cut the cheese, I would say, through Cincinnati defense. It's rely on your run game. If you're a rookie quarterback, rely on your ground game. That way, you're going to move the ball, you're going to eat up the clock, of course. So I would say rely on your run game. Lamar Miller is a good running back, and throw as fast as you can. DeAndre Hopkins is going to be double coverage the whole game. You really have nothing else besides Lamar Miller and DeAndre Hopkins. That's pretty much.
You saw Lamar Miller in Miami. The opportunities that he got, when he got an opportunity, he took advantage of it. He's a volume type of runner. He needs carries. He can go for 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard. Then he's going to break a 30-yard run. He needs those carries to get into a rhythm, like most running backs, to be honest with you. But they're going to have to rely on him a lot tonight. I would almost say probably 2 out of every 3 snaps are probably going to be run plays. And then you're going to get more comfortable with Deshaun Watson, hands the ball off, kind of seeing how people are lining up, what coverages. Then he can make those adjustments maybe second half to kind of take more shots down the field. That'll also open up play action as well.
That offensive line has to step up tonight and protect Watson all night long. They have to step up. Unlike the last game where they gave up 10 sacks, they have to step up.
But that way, offensive line is injury prone.
But it's injury prone. But if they're going to get anything going on offense, they have to have protection and they have to have some. They've got to make holes for Lamar Miller going and they have to protect Watson.
I agree.
He can't be scrambling all game.
I agree with you. But what you're looking at is you're not looking at your first string offensive line. These guys are out. Houston has that injury bug on the offensive offensive line, like they do through pretty much their whole team. I don't know if these 5 guys tonight can protect each other and be there together because they haven't really played together. You know, you got a couple first stringers over here, then you've got a second stringer, you've got a new rookie coming in. So I don't know if they're able to maintain that wall, so to speak.
Well, you're going to have to.
Give Watson that protection.
You're the second and third team, but now you got to step up and be the first team.
I understand next man up, but on a short week, and as you guys have said, in hostile territory, which I would say Cincinnati is hostile territory, but I just don't know. I think that offensive line is going to collapse, which is going to force Deshaun Watson to be a mobile quarterback. And that's what we don't want. You speak to Lamar Miller and the run game. Yeah, but if that offensive line isn't there, that defense is just going to come straight through, and Lamar Miller is not going to get that 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard. He's going to be -1, -2. You know what I'm saying? Which is going to force Watson to say, okay, I'm a mobile quarterback. Granted, that might be my secondary role. I want to be a pocket quarterback, but if my offensive line's breaking down, I've got to find something. I can't afford to be taking 4 sacks again. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, if they don't establish a run, and you're correct, where he's getting -1, -2, -3 yards, it's going to be a very long night for Deshaun Watson. They need to establish the run because I don't think that his ankle and his short week and his basically he's a rookie.
Yep.
Let's call it like it is.
He's gonna make those mistakes. He's gonna throw. He's probably gonna throw a couple picks.
Now you've seen other rookies shoulder the load. Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz had great seasons last season,
but awesome offensive lines.
Exactly, behind good offensive lines, good defenses, and he's in a tough spot. It's funny, on our preseason show, we had all 4 rookie quarterbacks, and we said who was going to start. I don't even think anybody picked Deshaun Kaiser. I know you picked Patrick Mahomes.
I did.
So now we said Deshaun Watson and also Mitch Trubisky should start.
Right.
You're getting one of them thrust in really, really early.
And in my opinion, and we'll talk more about this on Sunday, I think that if Mike Glennon doesn't produce in the first half against your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think you got to throw Trubisky in there.
They played the Falcons really well last week.
I think this is a game the Bucs want to win because it's about saying we didn't need Mike Glennon.
Oh, of course. All right, well, let's take a break then.
It's okay. We're taking a break now?
Taking a break.
Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
It's not the end of the show. It's just a break.
We're going to take a break, folks. We are here at the Office Bar, 1989 Greenleaf Boulevard.
He is getting real old.
Somebody gave him a
Somebody
cappuccino.
get
I
him a
got it.
cappuccino. Red Bull or
Man.
something, man.
We are H&L3. We'll be back in a few moments. All right, and welcome back to H&L3. We are here live at the Office Bar. Big shout out to our man Billy for putting up with us. All right, so yes.
My market doesn't work.
Yeah, neither does,
That's why we have space.
neither does Brian, apparently.
You're a white boy.
I say bust. I say bust.
Bust. We got 3 busts all the way around.
I think it depends what you think is going to be a boom or a bust. I see him having about 700 yards in the season.
And I don't think it's his fault. I think it's the quarterback situation's fault. I really think it's a good receiver in a bad situation.
When he's speedy, he can run go routes, but how's his route running tree other than that? We don't know yet. We haven't seen it. Maybe you'll see it tonight.
Another rookie that I'm sure a lot of people drafted in the top couple rounds, Christian McCaffrey. Will he end up as a boom or a bust? White lightning, Christian McCaffrey.
I want him to be a
Write it down, Eric.
I can't. My marker is not working.
Here, here's this one.
That one's got a right marker here.
Yeah, right here. Just
You know what?
maybe lift the tip.
Boom, if you can see that. I said boom.
Boom, we got boom, boom, booms all the way around. Okay.
Listen, being on that squad and the fact that he is exactly what Cam Newton needs to kind of alleviate some of that pressure off of him. And what we see him do in San Francisco last week, I say
He's been solid all years in college. Is he a Heisman finalist almost every year? We're in conversation every year. So, and he's just, hard worker, and I just see him doing well in that system.
Okay. Andrew Luck. Will we ever see him again under center in Indianapolis?
yes.
I
am writing it.
You're probably such a bad student.
At this point, we're going to have the whole say yes because Scott Tolson, I mean, they did get your boy Jacoby Brissett. Week 8.
I'm going with week 8. I got a prediction down here, right?
Well, who's their third stringer? Jacoby Tolson threw a pick 6.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett. He might start this week.
I like put me to sack. Did you get all for you guys?
He did pretty good for us. We got Philip Dorsett in the trade, so we'll see if that works out for us too.
Okay, he had a great week 1 last week. Philadelphia quarterback Carson Wentz, Eric's boy. He's got a large, giant representative in his room.
I do. I got a fat head.
Will he end up as a top 5 quarterback in fantasy this year?
Yes. I can't. Neither one of these markers work.
Can you do sign language? No, of course.
There's too many other good quarterbacks, especially for fantasy purposes, that he will not be in the top 5.
You said top 5.
Exactly, and I can name about 10 that are probably going to do better than him. But he's going to have a good season, and he's going to continue to trend up.
Top 5.
Now let me ask if you can help.
Sure.
All right? You don't need this. You have your own mic.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Being that we have 2 teams tonight, let's talk about a little fantasy football tonight, okay? Just in case anybody hasn't set their lineups yet, they're kind of going in and out on who to start. All right? At the running back position tonight, Cincinnati Bengals, flex position, you have all 3 running backs to choose from. Who are you going? And those running backs are Jeremy Hill, obviously, Joe Mixon, and then somebody gave him a mark. You can pass your marker. You're right next to him every time. Or Giovanni Bernard. We got 1 for Mixon.
And you got 2 for Bernard.
And we got 2 for Gio Bernard. Okay, so
yeah.
You guys think that he's going to catch the ball in the backfield and get some PPR points?
That is exactly my point.
Yes.
He catch the ball better than anyone else there.
Yeah, okay.
Giovanni Bernard is going to be the man tonight. I still see Hill at the end of the season being the guy, but for right now, for tonight,
okay.
You know, they drafted Mixon for a reason. He's going to be getting a lot more touches than he did last week. He's going to be that featured guy for 2 years.
Okay.
Depending on what your 1 or 2 are on your running backs on your team, but I would definitely play those.
For fantasy purposes, those people that have a possibility of starting Andy Dalton tonight, or the possibility of also starting on the other side, rookie Deshaun Watson, which case that would probably be a pretty bad scenario. That was your only option. But for fantasy purposes tonight, give me a stat line for both quarterbacks. I want yards, I want touchdowns, I want interceptions. All right?
Eric, how much time we got left?
Okay,
we got no time.
Wow. So Andy Dalton, Deshaun Watson, you want yards, touchdowns, interceptions.
Yards, touchdowns, interceptions. For tonight's game.
For tonight's game. All right. I'll go. I don't need a marker. So for Andy Dalton, I'm saying, I'll say he throws for 220 yards.
Okay.
I'm going to say 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Okay. And Deshaun
Watson, I say he throws for $150. I say 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
All right, hold on. I have to interject real quick because Eric started the show saying the Houston Texans are going to win. I'll go out on him and say if Deshaun Watson throws 3 picks tonight, there is no way in hell they're going to win.
But you asked for touchdowns and interceptions.
And you just said that he's going to throw 3, but then predicted them to win.
We're not predictions yet.
I know, but
here's my thing. He has to get that rookie. He has to get that rust off of him. He only got so much off of him. And hold on, though. I'm going to go to what you guys spoke of before, the run game. So that's why I say 2 touchdowns. Okay. Because I think the run game is going to be more effective.
I'm going Dalton 230, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and then Watson 190, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Okay.
I've got Watson 175, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Oh, you guys have terrible games.
And then I've got Dalton at 205, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Okay, I'm kind of on board with kind of the 2 of you. I think that Andy Dalton is going to have the better game. I think he's going to be in the outside here.
I think Dalton's going to.
All right, here's the last question for fantasy purposes. All right, tonight's game, give me a bold prediction. I want a bold prediction. It can be from any team, either Cincinnati or the Houston Texans. Bold prediction. Give it.
Wow. The scores already? We got 2 minutes.
For scores, for fantasy purposes.
For fantasy purposes, I say J.J. Watt has 2 pick sixes.
That is bold.
Wow, that's a bold.
That is very bold.
You wanted a bold prediction. AJ Watt, 2 pick sixes tonight.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna bold prediction. John Ross is gonna have 80 yards and 1 of those touchdowns.
Okay.
My goal prediction will be Cincinnati's defense will be a top 5 fantasy defense this week.
Okay.
Wow, that's a bold prediction.
That's a bold
That's a bold prediction.
Now, if I had to side with anybody here, I'm gonna actually side with Justin.
You always seem to agree.
That's actually the less bold prediction here. That's why.
You know what it is? He wants that trade on fantasy.
Oh,
That's what he wants. That's why he's
Yeah.
Somehow it's not even
Chris is like a piece of toast. He's just buttering it up for you.
Yeah,
Give me a
exactly.
trade.
Oh my goodness.
And that concludes the fantasy 5, if you will.
Fantasy, I like that. Thanks, Greg.
Now we have 10 minutes left.
All right, now let's break this game down. Eric, start us off.
Listen, there's nothing I can say positive about Cincinnati because I just don't like Marvin Lewis. But the one small kudo that I will give them is if they can all gel together tonight, Cincinnati has the weapons and has the capability to completely erase week 1, the shutout that happened in Baltimore. They come out tonight strong. They utilize all of their weapons. They get A.J. Green involved early and often. And more importantly than that, they do exactly what I need Houston to do, and that's utilize the 3 backs that they have in Nard, Hill, and Mixon. And actually make, not Hill, who's the second?
No, you're right. No,
And make this a game.
Okay.
On Houston's side of things, I am going to rely on the skill set, and I'm going to rely on Bill O'Brien saying that he has groomed Deshaun Watson in a very short amount of time to go out there tonight and do what people expect him not to do, and that is win this game. I expect the defense to be on point. J.J. Watt is arguably one of the best in the NFL. The Houston defense has proven time and time again that they can be dominant. They can put their foot on your throat and just hold it there, and you can't do anything against them. I have Houston winning this game. I have a very close score. I have a 28-27 Houston Texans victory, and Deshaun Watson as an NFL quarterback. His first start on his birthday. Here's the hat trick. He gets the first one.
It's the right time. We had 2 Texans fans come in, so good for us.
There you go.
Yes.
I think both teams pulled together. They both played really crappy last week, and I think we see a better game out of both teams. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think both defenses are much better than the offenses. They will rely on Lamar Miller a lot more this game. They're not playing from behind when Watson comes out there, so they can utilize him more. I think Houston just has a little bit more heart. They've gone through a lot of things with Hurricane Harvey right now. It was a big emotional game with the whole city there last week. I think being out of the city, the defense is going to step up more. I do see this as a defensive battle. I think Houston is going to win this game. I'm not going to say as close as you say, but let's say a 21-17 Houston victory.
I'm going to go with experience. I think Andy Dalton settles down. They're at home. I think they're Houston. Sorry. So they're at home. I think Andy Dalton's going to have a better game than it is his season opener. I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game, like you said, Kirsten. Going with Houston, Deshaun Watson's making his first start. He's a rookie. I think he's going to make rookie mistakes now. He's not going to utilize his run game like he should, even though he's got a good back in Miller. The defense is going to hold it pretty well, but Dalton knows these types of teams on the side. So I do think Andy Dalton's going to have a balance that game. So Andy Dalton's going to throw 2 touchdowns. So I do think the game's going to be 21-14.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm kind of leaning more towards what you're saying here. The fact of the matter is it's a short week. It's a really hard stop for the Houston Texans. I've said that prior to this. I think that coupled with the ankle injury that Deshaun Watson has, him making his first start, the offensive line not really playing well, you're going to have a monster game from that defense in order to win. Also, you're going to have a monster game from Lamar Miller. I just think this early in the week is just too much of a tough task to ask for. I don't think there's any way that Andy Dalton plays as bad as he did last week. I think he's going to bounce back. I see a big game from A.J. Green in this game. I think he's going to utilize his backs. I think you're going to see a pretty big game from Giovanni Bernard. Get Joe Mixon and also Jeremy Hill in that as well. The Cincinnati defense is underrated, especially the front seven. You got Geno Atkins, Michael Johnson, and Carlos Dunlap. I think that's going to be a tough position. They're going to put a lot of pressure on Deshaun Watson. If his ankle's not right tonight, it's going to be a long night. I actually see a lower scoring game because I think both the defenses are pretty good. I'm going 24-10 Bengals.
Cincinnati's going to get to Deshaun Watson all night long. That offensive line Houston has is so banged up right now. They have second and third string guys. And Cincinnati's defense is a mean defense. So they're going to get him on. He's going to be chased out and pocket. Bengals going to be
the fact of the matter is this team is going to double and triple team DeAndre Hopkins because they don't have a lot of other options in the offense. It's going to be a long night for Deshaun Watson. I really do think so. I think he has 1 touchdown, but I think that this is going to be a game where he actually goes back and looks at the tape and realizes, wow, welcome to the NFL. I have a lot to learn, but also I'm going to grow with my team. So I think that it's a good situation in the long run, but a bad situation tonight.
But here's the one thing that I would say that you brought to the table, Craig, is the fact that if there is a defensive squad that is good at tipping the ball at the line of scrimmage, better than the Baltimore Ravens who shut the Cincinnati Bengals out, it is the Houston Texans. And even with a dislocated finger, I expect J.J. Watt, I expect Davion Clowney to get to Andy Dalton early and often. So I think whoever gets the ball first, I think that defense has got to set the tone for the rest of the game. And if Cincinnati gets the ball first, I think within the first couple of minutes, we are going to see either Watt or Clowney get to Andy Dalton and remind not only the Bengals, but also the entire NFL why they are a top defense in the National Football.
Absolutely, they're going to get to Andy Dalton, and they're also going to get to Deshaun Watson. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 7 or 8 sacks combined in this game. Actually, I actually think that's going to happen.
7 or 8 sacks.
7 or 8 combined.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like 2
Yeah, we're 2-2 here inside. We've got.
There you go.
There we go.
We don't have to contact your financial advisor.
No, it's drinks.
We don't have to. That's good. Right.
The fact that he said yes to this, I'm confident I'm going to be a little thirsty on Sunday now. All right.
Oh, you should rinse the light.
You still need to You might as well just bring that too. Okay.
Guys,
I forgot about that.
This has been awesome. We're going to be back here on Monday night, breaking down the game from Sunday and giving you our prediction for I think it's what, the Giants-Lions game or somebody.
Giants-Lions.
We're going to be here every Monday.
Every Monday night, every Thursday night as this game gets started. Houston is getting the ball first, so we're going to see if that Cincinnati defense is going to be able to get to Deshaun Watson. Guys, thank you so much for being with us here. This is HNL3 for the Great Al Bushman, Craig, and our girl Kristen. I'm your man Eric. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.